There was a shop on a quiet street, a place where time itself seemed to have slowed to a gentle, dusty crawl. It was called the Emporium of Then, and it was filled to the rafters with the things people had left behind. There were tall, silent grandfather clocks, whose pendulums had long since stopped swinging, and stacks of well-loved books whose pages smelled of vanilla and adventures past. Teacups with tiny painted roses sat waiting for conversations that had ended years ago. And in the heart of this quiet, memory-filled world lived a cat. His name was Maestro, and he was as much a part of the shop as the faint scent of cedar and old paper. He was an old cat, with fur the color of smoke and marmalade, and eyes the green of sea glass. Maestro was the keeper of the shop's silence, the guardian of its many stories. He knew the history of every object, not in words, but in feelings. He could feel the joy left behind in a child's worn rocking horse and the lingering sadness in a soldier's forgotten letters tied with a faded blue ribbon. He spent his days winding his way through narrow paths between mountains of furniture, his paws making no sound on the creaking wooden floors. He would nap in sunbeams that fell like spotlights on a dusty armchair, dreaming of the hands that had once rested there, and the voices that had filled the air with laughter and soft whispers. The shop was his kingdom, and he ruled it with a quiet, gentle grace. Every morning the new owner, a kind woman who was the old owner's daughter, would unlock the door. She would greet Maestro with a soft scratch behind the ears and say, "Good morning, my wise old friend. What tales do the treasures have for us today?" Maestro would simply blink his sea glass eyes, a silent acknowledgement of their shared duty. He understood that they were not just selling old things. They were finding new homes for pieces of people's lives, for the memories that clung to wood and porcelain and cloth like stubborn, beautiful vines. He watched people come and go, some looking for a bargain, others searching for a ghost of something they had lost long ago. The old owner, a man with a kind smile and hands that were always busy fixing things, had been Maestro's first person. He had found Maestro as a tiny kitten, shivering in a crate of old records, and had named him because of the way he seemed to listen so intently to the music that always played in the shop. The man was gone now, a memory himself, but his spirit remained in the scent of his pipe tobacco that sometimes seemed to drift from his favorite chair, and in the way the sunlight slanted through the front window in the late afternoon. Maestro missed him with a quiet ache that lived deep in his feline heart, a constant low hum beneath the surface of his peaceful days. Today, the 3rd of December, the winter sun was a pale, shy thing. It cast long, weak fingers of light through the dusty front window of the Emporium. One of these sunbeams, brighter than the rest, managed to push its way past a stack of old paintings and a tall, shadowy wardrobe. It landed on a forgotten corner of a high shelf, a place that hadn't seen the light of day in years. The dust motes, disturbed by the sudden warmth, danced and swirled like tiny golden fairies. And in that sliver of sun, something small glinted. It was a little wooden music box, its lid inlaid with a faded mother-of-pearl bird. It was humble and overlooked, tucked behind a chipped porcelain doll. As the sunbeam grew warmer, a strange and magical thing happened. The heat must have caused some old tired metal part inside the box to shift, to expand just enough. A faint, tinny sound began to whisper into the shop's quiet. It was a broken melody, a hesitant plink-plonk of notes that seemed to stumble over one another. The tune was incomplete, catching and starting again, like a memory struggling to surface from a deep, long sleep. It was a fragile sound, so quiet that a human ear might have missed it entirely. But Maestro heard it. He heard it with his whole being, from the tips of his twitching ears to the base of his slowly swishing tail. Maestro's head lifted from his paws. His sea-glass eyes, which had been half-closed in a comfortable doze, snapped wide open. That song. He knew that song. A flood of warmth and memory washed over him, as real as the sunbeam on his fur. He was a kitten again, small enough to fit in the palm of a hand, and the old owner was sitting in his large, worn armchair. The man was humming that very tune, a simple, sweet melody, as he carefully polished the little wooden music box. He would wind it up, and the clear, perfect notes would fill the shop, a soundtrack to their quiet afternoons together. It was the old man's favorite, the song he hummed when he was happy. With a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in a very long time, Maestro rose to his paws. He stretched, first his front legs and then his back, a long, deliberate ripple of muscle under his smoky fur. The broken melody called to him, a plea from the past. He knew what he had to do. The song was too weak, too hidden. It needed more sun. It needed to be heard properly, to be whole again. He looked from the weak, whispering box on the high shelf to the bright, wide patch of sunlight warming the floorboards near the front door. His mission was clear. He had to bring the music back into the light. For the old man, for the shop, for a reason he could feel, but not yet fully understand. Just as Maestro began his journey, the little bell above the shop door tinkled, a cheerful, bright sound. A young woman stepped inside, hesitating for a moment as her eyes adjusted to the dim, cluttered interior. Her name was Lily, and she was the old owner's granddaughter. She hadn't been to the shop since she was a little girl, not since her grandfather had passed away. The place felt alien to her, a museum of a life she barely remembered. A wave of sadness, mixed with a strange sort of guilt, washed over her. She had been too busy growing up, too far away, and now all that was left of her grandfather were these things, these silent, dusty objects that meant nothing to her. Lily wandered aimlessly down an aisle, her fingers trailing over the cool surface of a marble-topped table. She felt like a ghost here, disconnected from the memories that seemed to hang so heavily in the air. Her mother, the new owner, was busy in the back room, so Lily was alone with the silence and the shadows. She remembered her grandfather only in blurry fragments, the scratchy feel of his wool sweater, the sweet smell of his pipe, and a big, warm laugh. But the details were gone, lost to time. Coming here felt like a mistake, like poking at an old wound that had never quite healed properly. She just wanted to leave, to escape the weight of a past she couldn't connect with. It was then that she heard it, a tiny, broken melody, like the ghost of a song. She stopped, tilting her head. Plink, plonk, plink. It was so faint she thought she might be imagining it. She scanned the towering shelves, trying to find the source of the sound. It was a sweet tune, yet it made her heart ache with a feeling she couldn't name. It was familiar, like a word on the tip of her tongue. She took a few steps toward the sound, a flicker of curiosity cutting through her sadness. The music was like a thread, pulling her deeper into the maze of forgotten things, a fragile invitation from a past she thought was lost forever. And then she saw the cat. Maestro was on a mission. He had leaped silently from a stack of old trunks to the top of a dresser, his movements fluid and sure. He was inching his way along the high, crowded shelf where the music box sat, whispering its broken song. Lily watched, mesmerized. The old cat moved with such care, nudging aside a silver picture frame and a stack of saucers with a gentle paw. He reached the music box and, with extraordinary delicacy, began to push it with his nose. He was guiding it, slowly but surely, toward the edge of the shelf, toward the wide, welcoming patch of sunlight on the floor below. Maestro did not rush. His task was too important. He nudged the little wooden box with the patience of a creature who understood the slow, steady rhythm of time. He pushed it to the very edge of the shelf, held it there for a moment with his nose, and then gave one final gentle shove. The music box tumbled through the air, landing softly on a thick, dusty rug that lay directly in the sunniest spot on the floor. The impact, gentle as it was enough. The mechanism inside, warmed by the sun and nudged by the fall, finally clicked fully into place. The broken melody healed itself. The notes, now clear and bright, poured out of the box, filling the entire shop with their sweet, simple tune. Lily gasped. The whole, complete melody struck her heart like a key turning in a long-locked door. Suddenly, she was not a young woman in a dusty antique shop. She was a little girl, no older than 5, sitting on her grandfather's lap in his big armchair. He was holding this very music box, and the same song was playing. He was humming along, his deep voice a warm rumble against her back. He was telling her, "This is our song, Lilybug. It's a song for happy hearts." The memory was so vivid, so real, that tears pricked her eyes. The scratchy sweater, the smell of his pipe, his warm laugh, it all came rushing back, carried on the waves of that simple melody. She knelt on the floor beside the music box, her fingers tracing the faded mother-of-pearl bird. The music washed over her, not with sadness, but with a profound and gentle love. It wasn't just a song, it was her grandfather's presence, a message sent across the years. She looked up from the box, and her eyes met Maestro's. The old cat had made his way down from the shelf and was now sitting beside her, watching her with his wise sea-glass eyes. He blinked slowly, a gesture of deep understanding. In that moment, Lily knew. This wasn't a coincidence. This small, furry guardian of memories had done this for her. He had remembered, and he had helped her remember too. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. She reached out a hand, and Maestro leaned into her touch, purring a low, rumbling song of his own. The wound in her heart, the one that came from forgetting, began to close. The melody continued to play, a bright and hopeful sound in the quiet shop, no longer a ghost, but a living, breathing promise. Maestro curled up in the patch of sun, his duty done. The keeper of forgotten melodies had delivered his most important message. And now he could rest, at peace in the warmth of a memory brought back to life.